So let's talk a little bit about what a winter we had.
Yeah, moving into the winter was great to finally get it all figured out, what kind of rules we had and what we had to follow, and then what the season was. So we start off with, what do you want to start with?
Let's head off-site to LA Fitness.
Yes.
Let's talk a little about swimming.
Different swim place. And it was interesting. I remember just trying to find a pool.
Yeah.
I mean, LA Fitness ended up being our pool. You know? How amazing. And the success, again, we talk about how athletes had to push through perseverance. There is no better example than our swimmers. I always say the wrestlers, which we'll hit it in, is the most dedicated athletes we have. But this year, swimming may have been pushing it close to it because of what they had to do just to get into the pool and be able to put those laps in. It was amazing.
Yeah. So as we wrap up the ESPYs, if anyone has any questions about like what pools are available within a 25-mile radius of here, reach out. We saw them all. But to be at LA Fitness was amazing and such a strange experience that college swimmers will never forget. We can't say enough about the job Coach Reed and Coach Shotwell and those guys did over there. Let's talk girls swimming. Miss Scott, you'll see her. Livia, you'll see her mentioned here in a little bit.
Had a great year, stepping into that position.
Third in GMCs.
And that's an elite spot. Third in the GMC is, I mean, those numbers are the best in the state. When you're up in the top 5 of the league, you're in the top 5 of the state.
You're swimming. You're swimming at that point.
And then we had a pretty fun boys team. The way that relay fit together. They kept telling us for years that, hey, it's coming. This is the class. The Funkalicious and the
So Max, Funk, Owen, Jax. These guys.
If he's not mowing your yard, I don't know what happens. He's mowing every yard in Fairfield.
He's using that success, the record-breaking performance into a business model.
It was fun. We were cutting their hair right before they went to state. Amazing. It's a fun time.
And so I remember them coming back after breaking the record. We stayed late after a basketball game. They rang the bell. I mean, it was just a fun. When you think about how unique the winter was, and how unique this year is, I don't know if anyone embodies that more than some of our winter sports. Swimming being one of them. So let's talk about bowling.
Yes, boys bowling team had a great year. Stephen Ambrose, great run throughout the season, and then finished it up by having a nice tournament. And I think they call it a tournament, not a playoff. It's actually a tournament, I believe.
Made state.
As they progress. State. It's pretty impressive. He made
state pretty much anything.
He made state. And it's a duo, as you have Jacob Pop as a sophomore, Mr. 300. Like you made it last year, you're going to get it again sometime, just not this year, but you got a couple more years to do that.
He was the star of the ESPYs last year in some ways. I mean, there are just some names that you just heard over and over again in last year's ESPYs. Obviously, Jatan McClain was one of those. But,
I do remember him.
You hear Jacob Pop a ton.
Maybe Jacob can bowl for University of Kentucky sometime.
Let's talk about girls.
Okay, go.
Girls bowling team. The quest for the 5th straight GMC title fell a few pins short. And I was there at that match. I mean, shaft a couple of pins, one way or the other, left some open frames, and ran into a really good team. I won't mention.
Please don't.
That school, that team that we lost to, but they played well. You got to give them credit. Kudos to both of those teams being at the Roll House, but Katie Dashley, Layla Burgess. I mean, that is just.
If you don't let some other team win it every 4 years or so, really, I mean, it's not fair. So it's good to let them win. Now we'll take it for 4 more years. Let's just do that.
4 more years would be nice.
4 more years.
So Coach Bowen, girls team, did a great job. Obviously, you mentioned the boys team. A lot of success at the Roll House.
Roll. And our wrestling team, I just mentioned them earlier, just like, we had some, again, the senior class, the Donovans, the Brandons, and things like that. But it's just, it was a really solid group that fit together. I mean, wrestling, as much as anything, had to be concerned about COVID. You can imagine it's wrestling. The pool, chlorine kills COVID. I don't know why, but like the wrestling, you are right there all the time, and they were able to persevere and get through that.
So kudos to Blair and the coaching staff, and obviously our individual wrestlers. Surviving a season, not only surviving, but really thriving. And thinking of the year that they had, I still remember. The night they beat Elder in the arena to duel, and then they're quarantined the next day. I mean, what a night that was, and a high and a low. But
and we finished the season with a guy that, man, you're second in the state, and it's such an incredible young man. It's just when you talk about perseverance, that has been a perseverance of a life, and he is just I know he's going to be successful. You can just tell.
Yeah.
The things that Brandon does. He's just so fun to be around, but going to be dedicated to whatever he puts his life into. And to finish it up with the second place in state, it's great.
Yeah. To be there at Hilliard Darby, to see that, I mean, it's just an amazing moment. But obviously for him to be able to make it to the state tournament last year, have it be canceled, and then to come back this season to make it, and again to make it as far as he did, finishing second. Man, kudos to him. We'll obviously see his name quite a bit tonight. You mentioned Donovan All. We'll see Donnie a little bit tonight as well in the awards. I mean, can't say enough good things about wrestling.
I wonder about what we'll look back starting this year, what we'll say about our girls team as that starts to progress. Our girls wrestlers, we had, advancing into the girls state tournament this year for a number of things to get on the podium and things like that. I think we'll look back on this year for that and say, okay, that's the time when it started. This is the girls team when they kind of got it started.
Yeah, Rachel Elizondo, Marissa Meyer, I mean, those guys. Obviously, Marissa we'll talk about in a few sports tonight, but her, finishing second in their tournament as well, in the girls wrestling tournament. Such an accomplishment, and obviously she hasn't stopped. She's still going into the spring, changing the landscape of girls lacrosse here at Fairfield. So,
cool.
Basketball?
Yeah, boys basketball, girls basketball. So you start off with the girls team. Great year. As far as being, with that, we'd had some girls that stepped into some leadership roles that they hadn't had to do before. The Leisman just had she's fun to watch. I mean, she just throws her body around. She's just the toughest kid out there every time. She'll make a shot when you need it. It was just a fun year to watch her, and then a couple of younger girls.
Briley Kidd, Booker. I mean, these guys stepping into some big roles. And girls basketball's got to be the toughest sport in a lot of ways in the GMC. I mean, obviously we could rank swimming's up there, golf is up there, but girls basketball is no joke. And obviously to come in with a younger team. And to have some of the success that girls basketball did this year.
And I would think they were probably the roughest one as far as what their record ended up being with the amount of times they had to be off on COVID. Just for practice times. I mean, it's so key when you have some younger people to get consistent practice, and they just can never get that as year went along. So every time they feel like they were coming off of COVID and playing the next night, that kind of stuff, that's a hard thing to have. So especially when you got to come off of COVID, play the number one team in the league or number 2 team in the state, that kind of stuff. That's a hard thing.
It's a tough year, but. Transitioning to boys basketball.
Maybe we're highlight of the year as far as the team.
Yeah, they're nominated quite a few times tonight. You'll see Ray, you'll see Amir nominated here, Logan. Prince play later, DJ nominated for Coach of the Year. It was a fun year.
Yeah, and as we keep seeing perseverance, that's the team that had to do that as the year went along with COVID times, but also every individual game. I feel like every game they were in, there was something that happened that they had to overcome. We have a big lead and the team cuts it. You got to make this free throw. You got to have this big possession. You got to get this big stop. Or you have to make huge shots. They just had different people every game step in, and ended up having, because of that, close games. Had an incredible year to win the league. Look at that banner. There's not many league champions up there for basketball. And it's the first one ever to win a league outright that year, and you'll remember that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of milestones. Obviously, Logan Woods, Dallas Point Club, making honorable mention, All-State.
Right. I don't think we've ever had an All-State player. I've been here for a long time. I don't remember one. If someone's watching this and come back and say, yeah, it was so-and-so, you let me know. But I have never seen a basketball player All-State.
The internet will let you know.
Thank you.
There's no doubt the internet.
Can't beat the
internet always wins.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
But perseverance was obviously a huge piece. We talked about the individual, but again, I think you hit the nail on the head. This was a fun team to watch. Every night someone stepped up and, talk about some of our seniors. I mean, Merlin Pope in the corner making threes, and making a defensive stop. Logan Murphy.
Big rebounds, undersized in his position, getting big defensive stops, making a shot when he had to, ripping it to the rim. Had a chance to dunk one that he wouldn't dunk. I don't understand why he wouldn't. But it was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun year. I mean, kudos to Coach Wyrick and his staff. I mean, just such a fun team to watch. Academic team. Can't forget those guys.
No, because they won the league the year before. Took a step back this year. I think we had some people leave early. They're probably going to Jeopardy right now. Because they're probably going to enter professionally. I don't know what you do, but they're ready.
You're going to try that joke every single year until it lands, and I just don't.
I don't know. There's college academic teams.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Should-
I know you're from OU, you probably don't think about the academics on that side. University of Kentucky, EKU,
Hey.
obviously one of the better academic schools in the country.
We did host the GMC academic tournament, so I do
Yes,
feel.
you do, you're in there.
I do feel smarter
Yeah, it was
for
good.
hosting that.
Yeah.
But a good,
Mark Brom, won us through.
yeah, that's a great group. So, fun winter. Man, can't say enough about the fun winter we had.
Yeah.